Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I have two of my really good friends today, and we will be talking about Halloween Kills. Hey, Breanna, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good.
How are you doing, Jon?
Doing good, hanging out.
So, overall, what did you guys like about the movie?
I liked that it definitely was a violent, gory movie. I like that there was more creative kills than the normal Michael Myers stabbings. I think there was some creativity there that we hadn't seen in a lot of Halloween films. But overall, I then felt that the movie was very much a middle movie. We know that these new Halloween remakes are going to be a trilogy, and you kind of felt that in the movie. I felt like there was no real beginning. The beginning was picking up at the end of the last episode, and I felt like there was no real end either. Like you're fully set up for another episode, so you're just kind of sitting there going, all right, now I just keep waiting. But overall, I liked it.
What did you think
it was
of it,
good. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. 10 out of 10 for the gore. I mean, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I almost thought it seemed like a different director, like with how intense the gore was. But I loved it, and I did feel like it was more based on the killings and the storyline. Like it was just a lot of killings, which was different than like the last one. But I loved it. I really liked how they brought everyone back too. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, I was really happy to see a lot of the faces from the original, more so because, I mean, obviously the first movie in this remake trilogy was really showing how Laurie Strode was affected by all of this long term, but there were so many people involved in that first movie, so it's cool to see them as well and how they were affected.
Yeah, I agree. I liked the movie overall, and I thought it was interesting how the director chose how to do all the gory kills and what's gonna happen and stuff like that. And it was interesting how they flashed back from the 70s till now, and I thought that was really interesting.
That was really cool. The beginning was different. That was neat.
Yeah, I liked the beginning, how it was showing like that drunk guy walking around, and then he kind of finds the guy on the tracks, and he's like, "Michael's coming back," and you're like, "What's going on?" What do you mean? I don't see Michael anywhere. You know? And so what was your favorite part of the movie? Did you guys have a favorite part?
I feel like the firefighter scene was so crazy. I don't know, that one really affected me. I felt like it was really intense, and I don't know. That's the most memorable scene for me, I think.
Yeah, it was, I mean, because it was right there, your first real glimpse of Michael again, and he is totally just going after these people. Yeah, it was I did read an article that they were trying to petition to take out the scene of the firefighters being killed. Solely, I think, is just kind of because they're firefighters, and they were I don't know, feeling I couldn't fully grasp why. More of just the respected nature of firefighters, and then the gruesome kills. It was kind of bothering some people, but
I can see that.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I was like, I mean, yeah, firefighters are such a respected group of people, and and then they went for it. Yeah,
Oof. Right. Yeah, I think that scene resonated with me as well, because it out of the whole movie, that was the most scene I'm like, he's gonna kill those firefighters, isn't he? I had this feeling, and I was like, no. At first I was like, no, they're not, and I was like, yep, I guess he is.
Yeah, and it showed Michael's power too. I don't know, what the fire hydrant did not he did not care. It was crazy.
Yeah. And I think this one, out of all of them, I think this is one of those ones that I mean, it's not my favorite one out of all of them, but I think it's up there, because I like how well they put the movie together and everything like that.
Which one is your favorite?
Mine is the Rob Zombie remake.
Same.
I mean,
good.
I really
is.
Yeah.
Which one do you like, Breanna?
That would probably be up there in my probably at least top 2 is the Rob Zombie remake. I do have a special place for like the original too, but
Yeah.
I think the Rob Zombie remake just kind of gives something, and that was when it came out was right when I was really getting into horror movies, so it was just like timing too. It was like perfect.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. Timing was important.
Right.
But it does like show like more character to Michael, which I really like. Like I like
Yes.
seeing why. I don't know.
I like
But
seeing
I like this one too. I feel like this is great.
Right, yeah. What did y'all think when you first saw Jamie Lee Curtis in the screen? What did
I
y'all
felt
think?
bad for her. She looking rough.
She looked different. I was just like, because I seen her in that movie with Daniel Craig. I forget what that, and it had a whole bunch of famous people. It's on Amazon Prime, or forget what it was called. And she looked different there, but in this one, they just made her look really, really old.
Really rough. It's crazy. Like the stress is getting to her.
Right. I think that's like they're really trying to push like how much Laurie Strode was affected by this and that it took over her life. And stress. And,
Right.
I mean, living like as a survivalist for 40 years, like will do something to you.
And then at the end of this movie, like heartbroken for her. Like so sad.
No.
But wasn't Michael Myers close to her? Wasn't he kind of close to Laurie anyway? Like as they were kids and stuff. Wasn't he kind of close to her?
Yeah, and he kept her safe. Like,
yeah,
he's the only one that he didn't kill, right?
Yes, I think so.
Like, I don't know. Like, I know that with this remake, they kind of took out a lot of story that they put in through like the original sequels. So how they want to keep Laurie and Michael's relationship.
Yeah. Laurie, she had a son too, didn't she?
Yes. And one of the Halloween. I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, they threw out all of the 10 extra movies there are, and then just said this is a sequel to the very first one.
It doesn't matter. Michael Myers is Michael Myers, you know.
Right?
It's like the Halloween timeline of movies is so hard to follow. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis is consistent, though.
That is true.
Yeah,
she is.
She's the only one in the movies, basically. Like, because all the other movies, they basically recast everybody except for the Rob Zombie one. It's somebody else, but in most of the Halloween movies, it's Jamie Lee Curtis in all of them.
Yeah, I love that too. She was amazing, and this I wanted a little bit more of her, but I feel like in the next one she'll be in it a lot more.
I think so too. And then I was surprised that she was just like laying in the hospital bed next to, I don't know who the guy was. I forget who the guy was because, it's been so long since I've seen the other movies. I was like, is that her husband or is that her friend or who he was? And she's just laying there talking to him. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. A lot of like weird connections in this movie. Like, and how they like the security guard at the hospital is like the cop from back in the day. It's just super crazy.
Yeah, it really shows, I guess, kind of like how Haddonfield is such a small town and like the community. And I really think they were trying to bring that together, how they were all trying to team up to go after Michael, like how much like this town wants to be unified.
He goes down tonight.
Right.
Right. So what was a bit intense, right? Like, I was like, what is this?
I know. Right. Someone was like, I saw on Twitter, someone was like, drink every time they say evil dies tonight. And I was like, I prefer living, actually. Like,
right. I ain't trying to die tonight. Like, oh man. Every single time I'm like, this is crazy. And then I thought like the like anniversary at the bar, I was like, this is like kind of weird. Like,
right.
Why are we like having this random like celebration kind of almost? Like it was just weird.
Seeing how people coped different than Laurie did.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't say anyone coped any better,
No,
different.
I was like, yeah, it's definitely different. And it was how they were unified through it as friends, came out and they were a group of friends. And then, unifying the town to go after Michael. And then at the end, we see that doesn't matter. No, he is too strong.
Like, the car scene where she's like, this is for doctor. And like, Michael's like, nah.
No, you're right. I'm not having this. And the town, I think it's also interesting that the town never knows when Michael's going to pop up or show up. He could pop up anytime. And I think that's interesting as well.
Yeah, undefeated. Like,
Yes.
it's crazy. Like, how did that lady have that many bullets? And she goes through all of them until it's time to shoot Michael, and then she's out. Like,
She's just, yep, classic.
Right. What was your least favorite scene?
Mine is kind of the new plot, which they've done on and off, of making Michael Myers more of an entity, more of a supernatural being than just a person. I've never been a huge fan of that storyline. It's one reason like Halloween Resurrection is like my least favorite, bottom of every Halloween movie. It's just, I don't know why. It's more of a preference. So like I don't have full reasons why I don't like the fact that they try to make Michael Myers supernatural. It's just not my preferred way of seeing him. And the fact that they're going that way in this trilogy too is just for me.
he's never gonna die.
Right. Like,
yeah, I think that too. Yeah, I didn't really like Halloween Resurrection along with Halloween H2O. Those were my two least favorite movies out of the Halloween trilogies.
I'm trying to think my least favorite scene. Like, the ending really got to me with Karen. Like, I felt like that was
I was
really,
waiting for it like the entire movie, and then I was like, wow, they're not actually going to kill her. And then they did. And I was like, oh, okay.
They got rid of her. And I don't know. It's just really sad. So I feel like that's my least favorite scene. I mean, it had to happen. Like, everyone had to go, right? Like,
right. I was like, it was definitely one of those things where I was waiting for it like the entire movie. And then I was like, oh, they're not actually going to do it. And then they did. And I was like, I get it.
And then there's Michael. Like, you just know he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I feel so bad for that town. Like, what? That must feel so crappy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I also wish that they would have done like the flashbacks a little bit more too. A little bit, so that way you could get into Michael's like mindset. We all know he's like a vicious serial killer, but they should have done like a couple of flashbacks, like to where you know like what kind of mindset he's getting into and why he's killing which characters off and stuff.
Yeah, and like, does Michael remember who he's killing, or is he just killing them just to kill? Like, it'd be interesting to know that.
Yeah, I was like, I noticed they started kind of questioning that in the movie, so I'm hoping we get more answers in the third one, although I do think that could have been something to like bring to this middle film, like actually giving us those answers. Because I do think this third one's going to be packed full of a lot of answers, a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of questions. Like, for instance, the Myers house was like completely redone, but I felt like the last movie it wasn't, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Halloween,
I don't know.
No.
Halloween 2018.
Yeah. But it was just like, I don't know. There was a lot of things I'm just like confused by. And it's like, who would choose to live in that home?
I know. Big John and Little John, apparently.
Right.
Man.
Yeah,
I cracked up when I saw him because I was like, did you guys ever watch Mad TV?
Yes.
Oh man, so he's Baby Stewart. So I was just like,
okay.
Yeah. I had that thought in my head as well, and I was just like, huh, interesting. You know,
then just felt sad.
Yeah. And I just like the fact that they how Michael Myers just killing people, and like they don't know why he's killing them, and he's like going after like the original like characters that like were there, and I was like, oh, interesting. This one he's killing off all the people that are in the flashback. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah, it's very
senseless.
It really is. Like, they just keep going, well, he wants to go home. Like, because at first, like, they kind of like made that like sense of like, it's Laurie. And then they were like, no, actually, that was the doctor who wanted to see if Michael would talk and get information out of him if he saw Laurie again. But then we're really seeing that Michael only cares about getting back home, and then his senseless killing to get through that. And then basically now we're just like, okay, but still, why is it so important for him to be back home?
Do you think we'll find out like a weird like sci-fi answer of like what's in the home?
Something. I feel like there's got to be some weird like connection. I don't know. I like
there's a rock hidden.
Right. Like a psychological connection at first is what I thought was going to happen, but then now that we're getting this supernatural angle of Michael, it's this unkillable entity, I don't really fully know where they're going to go with it. And I'm more interested in his like, I guess I'm like Dr. Loomis. I'm more interested in why than how.
Like, why is he like
like
this?
right.
Maybe there was a demon in the house that we don't know about, because like if they're gonna go with that route, then there must be like some supernatural like demon in that house or something that's making him do what he does.
But if there's something worse than Michael, like,
where do we go from there? Yeah.
I don't want that spreading to other towns,
Right. Yeah. But like in the other movies, he's human, so I just think it's weird that they all think he's like a demon or some kind of thing.
I mean, I see why they're confused. He just doesn't die.
Right. I think they were talking something about like the more he kills, the stronger he gets. I'm just like, all right.
Right.
That's so accurate.
Right. Which is true. I was like, I mean, what? There was like an axe in his back at the end, and he was fine.
Right. He must.
Just so wild. Like he'll just have like, I don't know, whatever, and he just looks like so sarcastically almost. Like, oh, I hate it.
Right. He must
be
go
so creepy. Like if you ran into him, like I couldn't handle it.
Right. He must go stitch himself back up or something.
Right. Does he have like supernatural healing powers? Like, is there no wound back there now from like...
Yeah, how does he do it? He's unstoppable.
Yeah. And I think this movie is a good middle movie, the storyline and everything like that. But I just wish they would put more. I don't know. I felt like something was like missing in there.
A plot.
Yeah. I do think like a full-fledged plot, like instead of just like, I mean, like, yeah, they were like, obviously a lot of movies pick up right where like the original ended, so that was fine, but it was like very much like they're like, let's just introduce a bunch of characters in this one
with a bunch of
lots of kills.
Yeah.
And then we'll carry on later.
Right, exactly. I think that's what I think was missing. It was the storyline. Like I wanted more depth from the characters. For instance, like when Karen was like washing her hands and like it showed her like cleaning her wedding ring, like I think more of like a flashback of like of what happened to her husband. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
More storyline. I felt
a little more storyline depth. We introduced we like the introduction of all the older characters again from the original movie, and then we see them getting picked off one by one, and that was it. Like, all right, glad we got to see them for 3 minutes. Like
this could have been like added on to the ending of the last movie, like easily. Like I liked it though. I thought you're exactly right. It's a middle movie. Like
it was a full-fledged middle movie. Like I can't like defend it either way, but I still had fun with this movie.
It's a great movie, and I'm excited to see another one. Like they always leave you like excited to see something else. So I think it did its job. I'm stoked about it. Like it's been a while since I've like seen a good kill gory movie. Like I loved it.
Right. Yeah, I loved it too, and I just it's a middle movie like you were saying, and I just like wish they would have made it like sooner than like now, That way they could have just made like a different like storyline to the new ones that they're gonna make.
Like the movie should have came out sooner, or
the movie should have came out sooner. Like like during like the third one or the fourth one or something. Instead of like they should have made it in like the 90s or something.
Okay, I was like, it was postponed a year because of COVID, so I wasn't sure. Okay, but no, I understand. I do think, I mean, we're kind of in that surgence of these reboot sequels, remakes. I don't even know what to call them because that's kind of what we're getting with Scream as well, and like I mean, all like in this last week we got like a new Chucky series that is supposed to be like sequels to the original Chucky movies. We're getting the new Scream movie that's supposed to be a sequel but kind of a remake. Like they're using like, I love it, like because they're always using the same name. So like Halloween came out as a sequel to Halloween. Scream is coming out as the fifth movie to Scream. Like they're not giving them new names.
Way back in the day, like
right.
I mean, like,
So like we're just kind of in this surgence of this. So like it's very appropriate to the times of why they decided to reboot this now. I think that's giving us a lot of the technology and kills that we wouldn't see in other times, but it is a lot to take.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
we're
It's
getting
the
a lot.
gore is so opposite of the original Halloween. Yeah. So it's kind of like crazy to see that, because like I feel like that was kind of what made the original so creepy. It was like so simple and just like
Right. I
cut and
mean,
dry. Like
the original Halloween movie was, I mean, just catalyst for horror. So, and now we can kind of see what we would do with it in a different time. But yeah, I mean, this Halloween that comes out in what, 1978, 78, I think it was,
Yeah.
78, 79. And then, yeah, I mean, anytime you see something about horror, it will come back and be like, you
John
know,
Carpenter.
inspired by Halloween, John Carpenter. Like, I mean,
Right.
this movie fully, the original fully did set up like modern horror.
And now look at us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but John Carpenter's Halloween is such a classic Halloween, and everybody loves that one.
Right. I liked how they the movie titles kind of like were a remake of the original, but like a new updated version. Like that was really cool.
I did like that. I was kind of upset that they didn't use the original jack-o'-lantern that they always use for the Halloween
Yeah,
movie.
Oh,
I was
there's
like,
like
why
this
is
new high def burning one. Like,
right? And I was like,
crazy.
there was a bunch of them. I was like, okay, but we could still have the one that's literally Michael, like in the jack-o'-lantern. I was like, it's
Bring
classic.
it
Like,
back.
I was like, they even used it in the first one, like the first new Halloween. I was like,
They're here to
what?
kill everything.
I know. And I was like, then they don't use it in this one. I was like, wait, why? Like,
Right.
Setting it up for the fire, you know?
Maybe they'll put it in the new one.
Yeah.
I know, bring it back.
You think they'll wait like 2 years for that one too, or do you think like they'll?
I don't know what they're fully planning on now. I'm assuming it's coming out next year, but honestly, I haven't looked into it to see. Because they were supposed to come out every year. Like it was like 2018, 2019, 2020, or 2018, 2020, and 2021. As far as I remember, I'd have to go back and look.
And they are behind.
Yeah, and then they got this one pushed back again. But I'm pretty sure they were supposed like the second two were supposed to come out like 1 year after each other.
Do you think like this will be it, or do you think like they will have another series made?
I'm kind of hoping this will be it. As much as like we're sitting here talking about how we love Michael, this is like a classic series. There's times where I just feel like you have to stop.
Right.
Which
Keep it a classic.
the original 10 movies of Halloween didn't do. Like, and so like I think sometimes we just have to learn when to stop. Like,
Yeah.
and
Right.
let the ending be the ending.
But if we had stopped before the Rob Zombie versions, you know?
Right.
Right. But
I don't know. I
sometimes
kind of agree, though. I think like just let it, you know, don't ruin it, you know.
Right. I was
Right.
like, give it an ending and let it be there. I was like, if it's got a good ending, people will talk about it and watch it for years to come. People are still
Right.
watching the original Halloween from, like I said, 70, I think it's 78.
Yeah, and they
Like,
swear by it. They won't watch the other ones. Like,
right.
it's
Here,
doing
let's see.
something right.
Let's see if I can find, but yeah, I'm fully in for like a good ending and it being done. And then I'm personally on like the track that I like remakes. I am fully okay with remakes as long as they're doing something to these remakes. Like there's a reason they're remaking them.
Right.
Like give me something good, give me a new like spin, even
The
if
real
it's just
life Lion King, I hated it because
it was the same and just different
it's
CGI.
exactly the
Like
same.
yeah,
like and it was just weird animation. Like it's not
Yeah.
even live action. So I
Right.
didn't like it.
I agree. I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
That's my
Give me the
least
cartoon any day.
that's my least favorite one. Side note, that's my least favorite live action Disney movie.
Same.
Yeah. I was like, and
I
it's
think my
sad
favorite
because
live
like,
action is Aladdin.
I think Aladdin. Yeah,
Yeah,
Aladdin.
mine
I
too.
really like Jungle Book too, but it's,
Jungle Book was good.
But
Yeah,
Aladdin,
Jungle Book
yeah.
is good, even though that Jungle Book's my least favorite Disney movie.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna
I
get
love
some hate.
Jungle Book.
I know I'm gonna get hate for that one, but I'm sorry. Jungle Book's my least favorite Disney movie.
I love the music though. The music's
Absolutely.
pretty
It's such good music.
Yeah, I like the music. I just don't know. I just guess I don't relate to that character as much as the other characters, I guess. That's probably why. But Halloween was made, the first Halloween was made in 1978. And then it
Okay.
and then Halloween 2 was made in 1981. Then Halloween 3 was 1982, and then it went to Halloween 4 in 1988. And then it went from there. Halloween 5 was 1989, and then the Halloween Curse of Michael was 1995. So it went like that. So there's a couple years gap in between them all.
And they're all so different.
Yeah, they are. That's why I like the Halloween series as a whole. That's why it's like one of my favorite series, because all the movies are different. I mean, like, yes, they kind of tie together a little bit, but they're all different.
Yeah, it's awesome to think about like the budget difference too. Like, I don't know what the budget for this one was, but the original was like 300,000. And so it's just like to think about what they're able to do now that they have the money in these movies is like incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And like how the technology has come so far, and how they can like do certain things that John Carpenter couldn't do back in the days. And John Carpenter made his own music and he directed it.
He was revolutionary. Like that first opening shot is just incredible. Like filmmakers talk about that all the time.
And I find that interesting that he's like one of those very rare. That's why a lot of people like John Carpenter, because he's one of those like rare like horror movie type of directors that can also be like a composer or something like that, because he does kind of both.
Multi-talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think more directors should be more like that, just because that way they can kind of see like all the aspects of making the films.
Yeah, they understand the process and really appreciate everyone, and that really shows in the productions.
Instead of you do this when I tell you to, or something like that.
Right.
You know. And that's why I resonate with Michael, just because I'm the type of person that likes complex characters, and Michael's a complex character, because even we still don't even really know why he's killing or what exactly made him want to kill people.
Right. We don't even know what he is.
Right. So I did look it up. I was trying to find the old tweet from Jamie Lee Curtis. It was this one was supposed to come out in 2020, and then the last one was supposed to come out this year. This one came out.
This would have made 2020 so much better.
Right. Like, I understand we canceled pretty much every movie in 2020, but I was like, they still released it on streaming, so we could have just done it.
They gave us a disservice.
Yeah. Right. Everything else came out on streaming. Why couldn't they just stream this one? Maybe they were still editing this one or something.
I'm sure there was right. I was like, I'm sure there was a production slowdown too, because I mean, it was bad when this all first started taking place. Everyone was at home. Yeah, people were trying to edit and
or maybe they had to reshoot a couple of scenes or something like that as well.
Yeah, that's probably it. And maybe that's why Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't in it as much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't fully know like where they were in production when COVID hit. I'm assuming that they were decently far if they'd already planned them to be released back-to-back years, but that could be completely false too. Like,
right?
Crazy. I'm glad it came out this year, though. I really, really loved it, and like it's got me excited for another movie.
Yeah,
and I hope they do like another Halloween Horror Nights house with it. Like,
yeah, that would be so cool. It would be so cool if they did like a Halloween Horror Nights house of Michael from each like movie, and that would be kind of cool.
Just like an anniversary house, like they could have done that in 2018.
Just like 40 Michael Myers, and you don't know which one's like.
Right.
You don't know which one's gonna come scare you.
Yeah.
I was like, what was it? It was 2018. They had Halloween 4 at both Orlando and Hollywood, and my friend counted all the Michael Myers scares through Hollywood. I think she was like 20.
I couldn't do it. Oh, it's so crazy. Was it the only house I didn't do was the Halloween Horror Nights like Legends or whatever?
Oh, the icons?
Yeah, the icons. Was he in that or?
No, that's the icons that they kind of invented for Horror Nights.
Okay.
So that's like their own icons.
So like Jack and then.
Yeah, Jack, Chance, Lady Luck, the director.
Nice.
Oh, I can't remember all of them right now.
They have so many.
Yeah.
I know. It's awesome. It's impressive. I love that event. It's always a good time.
Me too. I've been there for Sweet 16, and then I was there in 2018 and 2014 as well.
This was the first year we went back in like 7 years, so pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just love how they produced them. Like they make it like look like you're actually in a movie scene, and it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
They do really good with like these like grandiose sets. Like you walk in and you're like, I'm here. Like I am on the movie.
You're like, wow, they actually are a movie set.
Right. Right. It's like it's being put on by a production studio. Okay, I get it. But like it's insane, like the amount of, especially the ones in Orlando, the amount of money and effort and
I was about to ask which one's your favorite, if it's California or Orlando.
Yeah, California just doesn't. They use usually like one sound stage rather than like Orlando that uses like 4 or 5, like 6. And then so it's just like they're not as big. There's sometimes there's houses that I prefer in California, but as an event overall, it's always going to be Orlando. Like,
oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last episode, Breanna was telling me that they usually put it on the back lot tour, and she had to walk all the way around this like abandoned parking lot in California.
Yeah, I was like, they put like, because they just don't have the space. I mean, it's a working studio, and I know they had some promotions going on for the Halloween Kills movie and some other stuff going on. So I'm not fully sure if that's why they didn't put, like, they used to put some of the houses like on the back lot, and it was a decent walk, but this year they didn't. They put it in an old, like a parking lot, which I was like, at first someone was like, oh yeah, you don't have to walk like all the way back there now. Well, now you have to walk to that parking lot, which was just as far. so it's like you're trekking around.
Like Orlando, you're in some weird places too. Like they have this weird shrink wrap like float.
I know you walk back there and you like see like old ride vehicles that are like broken down and just like laying there, and you're like, why are these here? Like, get rid of them. Like,
I hope you're not going to replace it with that.
Right. Like these look a little too much. Like I was like, you're not restoring that now. Like that thing needs to go. Like,
we're past it now.
Right. I was like, Universal's kind of like they're showing us their hoarding tendencies when we go back there. Like,
oh my gosh, it's so funny. A hoarders episode with Universal.
For Universal.
Yeah.
They come and they're like, why are you keeping this? Like, well.
Disney does be throwing back some old float parades though, like so.
Yeah. I think they should also at Halloween Horror Nights, they should, the Nickelodeon studio, the old Nickelodeon studio, they could use that. That's not being used. They could use that.
They could. And the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got some space now.
Yeah. Unless they're trying to build like another like park or something, but that's not even big enough to build another park there.
Well, they are building another park, but it's not right there. It's going to be a little ways away, Epic Universe. So I feel like all that stuff's going to sit abandoned, like the Barney area, the Curious George area, and then like where the Blue Man Group and the Nickelodeon. I feel like that's all just going to sit there stagnant for a couple years because they're working on.
Meet and greet thing is such a joke. Like
the dance party or whatever.
I'm like, you got rid of Barney for this.
I'd rather watch Barney than that.
For real, it was so awkward. Like I'm like, this can't be serious. Like terrible. But I agree. Like they're not going to change that. It's just going to be empty for a while. Like,
yeah.
Well, don't forget, Nickelodeon's been empty for how many years now?
A lot.
They're done with it. They're just moving on. Hopefully that third park like really like brings a lot of like revenue for them and they're able to like.
I know. I'm nervous. I'm holding out a lot of hope for that new park, but I've read stuff that they're trying to gear to kids more, which is fine. Like a lot of Universal is geared to like, bigger rides that like kids can't ride, like, height requirement wise. And but a lot of it's going towards DreamWorks, which again is fine. I just feel like those movies do have some standing and they do last a while, especially for kids, but to like sit there and put this big budget into like some of these DreamWorks movies, I'm a little nervous that it's not going to hold up well.
Yeah, I'm not seeing like
my fear
characters, like you don't really connect as much to the newer DreamWorks characters. So.
Yeah. I was like, How to Train Your Dragon seems to be very connected to a lot of people. I have watched them and I like them, but it's not like I would care to go to a theme park. But I'm probably not the target audience for that anyway, so it's probably okay. But it's still, it is making me nervous on how fast this park's going to age, depending on what they end up putting in.
I think like the Super Mario stuff will do well.
Mm-hmm.
And like if they bring Donkey Kong, like that would obviously do well.
Yeah.
But I also like I don't want them to bring like Harry Potter either because I'm kind of like over that. Like
They're supposed to be doing another Harry Potter section.
Fantastic Beasts, right? Or something like
Yeah, I've either heard like stuff I've kind of heard stuff about Fantastic Beasts, and then I heard rumors about the Ministry of Magic building.
I'm just over it. Like I love it. There's nothing wrong with it, but like
I think they've kind of like, you know, they've got the two iconic pieces. Like they've got Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, and I was like, that's kind of just where you need like it's one of those things again. Like you just need to know when to stop. Like,
yeah,
and
like,
that's
stop,
okay to stop.
Stop milking
like,
the cow.
Right. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, I mean, they did fantastic with the Wizarding World. I think I've talked about it on this podcast before, where it is my favorite immersion park, like out of Disney
like
and Universal. Like Harry Potter is my favorite, and I was like, I do absolutely love Harry Potter, so I may be a little bit biased, but you are fully immersed when you go in there.
Yeah, when you step on Diagon Alley, like you feel like you're there. Like it's crazy.
Right.
And I was like, I feel like they can't top Diagon Alley. And
there's no way.
Right. And I was just so like, anything that I feel like they do, I'm just like, I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, I'm not gonna like it as much as Diagon Alley, and it is okay to not have another Harry Potter section.
Yeah,
I am one of the biggest Harry Potter fans, and I am okay not having it.
Like that ride's really fun.
Yeah,
wildest creatures, but I don't know. Like I'm good. Like they talk about Fear Factor's closing now, and they're like, oh, another Harry Potter. Let's stop.
Right. I liked watching the Fear Factor. That's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, for sure. They should bring a Michael Myers attraction, like a permanent.
Yeah,
they could definitely.
Or just like a Halloween Horror Nights house that like is permanent.
Right. I was telling her last episode. I was telling her they should, you know how they have all the superheroes, like all the Marvel characters in the Islands of Adventures. They should turn that area into like a haunted house or something, and have like Tony Stark be like a zombie or something.
That'd be awesome.
Or like Spider-Man be like a vampire or something.
They did like Haunted Islands or something one year, and they actually had it Islands of Adventure, and it was like really crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, I think a little bit. I think it was 2002 or something, like early 2000s, and
crazy.
It looked wild. And I was like, obviously that was before phones with HD cameras, so there's only so many photos out there of it, but
the unknown stuff.
But yeah, they should turn that park, like if you're gonna pay all this money for like Halloween Horror Nights and stuff, they should turn both parks into at least like some kind of horror night type of thing. Yeah,
that'd be really fun.
And I was telling her they should turn the Hogwarts Express into something too for Halloween, because they have the Dementors, so they could do like something with the Forbidden Forest for Harry Potter.
That's a good idea. It'd be an easy overlay. Just like replace the screen footage with like something else.
They could do something with like the Forbidden Forest instead of like the Dementors coming in like the middle of the like ride or whatever, even though that is like a 2-second ride or something.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
They should do something like that. I mean, like, I think to walk from Islands of Adventure to Universal, it's like almost like a football field to walk to, right?
Pretty much.
Probably, yeah.
So they could actually maybe do like the whole city walk like type of thing and have all the restaurants like
I don't know if, like I could handle that. Like
you need your
you're trying to eat dinner and they're coming at you. Like I don't
know. No. Just like have it themed, like the food like be themed or something.
I love that idea. Honestly, it's a great idea.
Like how like the one restaurant, Mel's Diner, sometimes has I think that's what it's called, right?
They call it a die-in instead of a drive-in.
They could do like sometimes they have like Halloween Horror Night themed food. Why can't the other restaurants have Halloween Horror Night themed food?
Yeah, Universal's getting really good with their like seasonal food offerings. I hope they keep that up, because I think I've also talked about
the food trucks are like delicious. Like
I'm still sitting here thinking about it was a jalapeno popper grilled cheese. And I think about that every day.
My friend got it was a beef brisket grilled cheese, and he was obsessed.
That sounds really good. I need to go to Universal and go try it.
They have like a spiral potato. Oh, it's so good.
Pizza fries, yeah.
On point.
we could
the Ghoul Juice was really good too this year. Ghoul Juice.
The what?
Oh,
it's called Ghoul Juice. It's like a rum drink. It was really good.
Yeah, I liked that one. I'm trying to remember. There was another one too that I like. They had a couple good drinks, and I was nervous because like I felt like they weren't going to have like I feel like they're always advertising their drinks and they have stations just for their drinks, and it was a little different this year. And I was like, oh no, like
Yeah, it was way different this year.
It's just like how they set up the food, but
I was so thankful that like
good.
in the Haunting of the Hill House, they actually had like a drink person in the middle of the line, which is like the only line that they had. That I was like, oh thank goodness.
It's like, forgive me. They knew the line would get long.
Right. Well, that's like a popular like show or movie or whatever.
The house was crazy. I think that was the scariest one this year. Like it was intense.
I'm still upset because I don't know, that one bothered me. And I kind of get it because of like how Hill House was told like through the series. It was a nonlinear storytelling. So it's really hard to like do a house with storytelling in it. But when I get these houses with the IP like that, I want a bit of storytelling. And I just felt like it wasn't there in that house.
There was just a lot of graphic scenes.
It was just like, yeah. And I mean, the ghosts in Hill House are scary. So I mean, it was still scary, but
herself.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It didn't give me the storytelling that I really wanted. And again, I don't know if it really could have because of the way that the story is told throughout the series. Yeah. I don't know how well it would have worked. So by making this criticism, I'm understanding that I couldn't have done it better. So like,
right.
I understand. I'm just saying.
Right. Like I just always feel because everyone's like, oh, I loved it. And I was just like, it just didn't hit for me. And I know it's preference because it just wasn't fully what I wanted, but
full disclosure, I'm not fully invested in the show. So like I feel like if I was a fan of the show, I'd be like the same page as you. So
yeah, I was like, because I was like, I do feel like the show made you care about like the characters so much, and you didn't see any of them in the house. You just saw the ghosts. Random. And I was like, yeah.
So maybe it was more like supposed to make you feel like you are the characters. Like
yeah, and I do kind of feel like you were supposed to get that a bit from it. It still also bothered me, like I was talking about, like the Red Room is very important to like the series. And when you walked through the Red Room in the house, I don't know if I was there during a cast change or anything, but it was completely empty. There was nothing there. And I was like, I was like, this is an important like moment. Like everything revolved around this room in this series. And I just walked through an empty room with a mannequin on the floor. And I was like so upset about it. Like,
they're like, we just want you to think about this scene.
Right.
Right.
Did you find that the plexiglass almost made things more terrifying because like you would see plexiglass and think someone was going to be there?
You kind of knew.
No one was.
Yeah.
And then like the next time there would be like.
Yeah, I was like, it was kind of like, yeah, both. It was like you're anticipating it. So like if someone did show up, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew you were going to pop out at me. But like then you were anticipated and you were like, building up for the suspense and then nothing happened. Like,
right. Yeah, they could have probably done like something with the plexiglass instead of you like seeing that it's a plexiglass. They could have done something with it.
Yeah, it was
they were really creative with it. They had people on stilts for some of the houses. I thought that was kind of like a good hack. And like I thought like overall, the plexiglass didn't even like bother me that much.
It was fine. Yeah, I was like, it's one of those things where, especially there, like you weren't required to wear masks. You were encouraged, but not required. So it's like for that extra protection of like, these employees that are, coming up close and personal with tons of people throughout the day.
Right.
And then for us going through as well, it was like, I'm completely fine with it.
And like, we're thankful the event's here.
Right. Like, I was just happy to have the event back. Like,
right. Because you went last year, right, Breanna?
Yeah.
And you didn't like it as much because they had it in the daytime.
Right. I mean, it really was an event. They had already built the houses, so they opened up 2 of them. So,
was that Bride of Frankenstein was one of them, right?
Bride of Frankenstein and the Tooth Fairy were the 2 that they had opened last year. Nice. The Bride of Frankenstein was really good. And it held up for me seeing it 2 years in a row.
Scene, that was crazy. Like,
yeah, I was like, it held. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and I went through it 2 years in a row, and like it's still one of my favorites. So that's how well that I think they did with that one.
Yeah,
like,
really good.
My favorite, I've told Breanna, my favorite's the Edgar Allan Poe house. That was my favorite.
That one was good. It was creepy.
Yeah.
My favorite, like, probably ever was the Saw house from, like, 2008.
Oh, yeah.
It had all the pigs and, like, it overwhelmed me.
I didn't get to see any of those. I think my favorite was the Poltergeist house. 2018.
I didn't see that one, but I bet that's probably intense.
It was just like, it was one of those like where I talked about storytelling. They did great with scares and storytelling through it, big sets. Like if you felt like you were walking through the house, like it was perfect. like zero complaints.
Oh,
Right.
that's awesome.
And then I like the trick or treat house with the little burlap guy.
Oh
Sam.
yeah, that movie's
Yeah.
weird. I watched that and I'm like, that's a weird movie. Like
I liked it.
I like
it's
that
good.
movie.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
It's like I think they're trying to go for like a legend, like you know, like the legend of Halloween for that movie, and he's like the spirit that has to keep the legend of Halloween inside of you, otherwise he kills you.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for. Like you have to believe this like folklore legend that Halloween's real, otherwise he comes to
You're
get
gonna
you.
die.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like Santa, I guess.
Like I finally watched last week I finally watched Hellfest. Have you seen that one?
No,
Oh, you should watch it. It's really good.
just Hellfest.
Yeah, it's called Hellfest. It's on Netflix. And what it is Six Flags has their own Halloween Horror Night type of thing. And what it is they did it in Six Flags in Atlanta, Georgia, and they took scare characters from other like places, from like other haunted houses and stuff. They took scare characters from there and they put them into the movie, and they made these like really cool elaborate like houses and stuff. And then this killer comes and starts killing everybody, killing these group of friends. Really, it's a group of friends.
Crazy. Is it new?
2018, I think.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I need to watch it. No, I never even heard of it.
it's really good. They should make that into a haunted house. That would be cool.
A haunted house of haunted houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be such like a mind mess up.
Hey, maybe I need to just make some of these haunted houses because I have wild imaginations.
Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know how I would get involved in that though. You know. Just this is what you need to do.
Community.
Right.
This is what you need to do. Tell them, Universal, this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to do it.
There we go.
You know.
Do it right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just like I've been to Busch Gardens. I've been to their Hollow Scream. Yeah, that's what it's called. And their houses aren't as good as like Halloween Horror Nights or anything like that.
I've heard like the scare tactics are more intense over there, but like the actual houses aren't as good.
They're not as good, but like the scare zones that they have are a lot better because they get more into your face. And one time I was like this guy, I wasn't paying attention. This guy came up like literally like this close to my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, get out of my face before I punch you. You know, I wouldn't do that.
Like, they're non-IP, so it's like crazy characters you never heard of. So I find like that probably makes it like even more creepy. Like
it does, because they come up with their own like thing, and it's a lot cheaper than Halloween Horror Nights. But yeah, it's interesting how they do it, you know, over there. But at the same time, I'm just like, I just prefer to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, it's the best one. No one does it better.
Yep.
Yeah, because they have all the makeup crew. They take all the makeup crew from the movies from the Universal movies, and they do all that kind of stuff.
Incredible.
Like I was telling her, you remember when Jaws was at Universal, and that was such an iconic ride. But I was telling her we were coming out of Jaws, and one of the chainsaw guys was there, and this is during Halloween Horror Nights, and this kid didn't realize he was there and scared the crap out of the kid, and the kid fell down, and the guy broke character and said, "Are you okay?"
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So as he has like a chainsaw, are you okay?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
You
luckily,
just scared me. Like...
Yeah, I'm okay. But he like kind of like did like a somersault. That's why you asked him if he was alright.
Oh gosh.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just crazy. It was just like, huh. And I was like, oh, I've never seen them break character before, but I guess in some certain circumstances they have to.
If you make someone fall over, break character.
It's problem.
Cause like the whole
fall over.
Right, like because the whole time like going through the scare zones, my brother's friend was trying to get them to get out of character. He was like talking to the girls and being like, "Hey, sexy," and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like cracking up laughing. They would look at him and smile, but they wouldn't break character. It was just funny.
I couldn't do that. I'm too scared.
See me. My friends don't like to go with me into the Halloween Horror Nights because I'm motionless the whole time, and they're just like, "You're not scared?" I'm like, "No," because I already seen them. I see where they're popping up at, and I'm like, "No." And they try to scare me, and nope, doesn't work.
It doesn't matter that I see where they're at. It terrifies me.
Nope. I
think what it is, like, if like they had the houses on mute, I'd be fine. But it's like the loud sounds. I can't like focus. I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was like, it's the sound that gets me more than anything. I was like, if a sound is like gets into my ear, I'm gonna jump no matter what. Like, but yeah, I was like, as you go through so many of these houses, you know where they all are. You can even hear it in the music, and you know when someone's gonna pop out. Like, it starts to become pretty predictable.
Right. The only time that it gets me is when I'm at a part where the strobe light's like right in my eyes. That's the only time.
Yeah, I was like, they did. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It was a zombie one, and oh my gosh, something Patient Zero, and it was like strobes the entire time. And I was like, no one even scared me because I was so focused on the fact that I was just trying to walk through an entire haunted house of strobe lights, and I couldn't see anything.
Like, that's terrifying enough.
I know. I was like, it was enough, and I was so focused on that. I was like, I don't even know if I even saw anyone come at me because I'm just trying not to fall down or run into something. Like, and that's what it bothers me. It was like when they do something where they just make it extremely, extremely dark. Like, not pitch black. Some places do like a pitch black and like you're trying to like feel your way through. That's one thing. I still don't love it. But when they make it so dark that like you're running into a wall, there was one house where I literally stood there and was trying to figure out what direction I was supposed to go because it was so dark. And I was like, I can't tell. Like,
and then like the one they had like the like bugs hanging from the ceiling and it was kind of dark.
Yeah.
And it was just like all of you kept touching you. Like, it was, oh man.
Yeah, it was like,
I did that. I was in one of those like dark houses. I had to turn on my phone because I could not see, and I almost like I was this close to hitting a board. Like, seriously, like my nose going right into one of the boards. That wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have turned out good. They're like, no cell phones, and I was like, I can't see where the heck I'm going.
Like, I prefer not getting injured. Like, I understand, and I was like, and I get like why they're trying to use darkness at some point, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And I was like, no, like, I'm gonna get injured. Like, can I prefer not to?
Thrill, you know?
Right. Like, there's reasons I pay for this. I pay to get scared knowing that I'm safe. Like, and I'd rather not
for you to
trip
rely
over
on
something.
lighting, like,
right.
But yeah, I like going to them. They're fun. You know, I just haven't been in 2 years because of the whole COVID thing and everything like that. So hopefully, maybe next year.
Horror.
I do too. Like, I like will watch anything horror just about. If it's too scary, then I have to watch it in the daytime than at night. Because at night, like, I was telling her Paranormal Activity, the first time I ever watched Paranormal Activity, I thought that movie was real. And me and my friend are coming home. We slept with all the lights on because I thought, like, some kind of, like, poltergeist or some kind of, like, demon was going to come after me.
It's not real.
No?
They do so well at it, though, right? They make it so relatable. I feel like all of those movies were like exactly like that. Like, you were just like, that really happened, right? Like,
yeah, it's because their budget was like $5 for that movie.
It was.
I forget, it was something like a ridiculously small, and it like I mean, I don't even know how much money they made, but it was a lot because their budget was so small.
Like, the fan, the addition of like the fan, like, I don't know, they did.
Like, when they put the flower on the floorboards and then made it like they were like walking on it, that part freaked me out the most. Like, you just see like these footprints, and that part freaked me out the most.
That stupid closet.
Yeah. Or how did they get the Ouija board to go on fire? That was really cool.
I don't know. And then it ended up being like just this weird cult. Like, what movie was that where they like decided it was a cult? Like,
now it's like I think it's
the third.
The what ones?
Was it the third one where they like? I don't know. I
don't remember.
It's so crazy though.
I think I've only seen the first two. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. There's a new one that just came out or is coming out. that looks a lot more produced than the old ones. So I don't know if it's going to keep its integrity. Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
they got a budget now.
I've only seen the first two. So the other ones I can't find anywhere. So I'm just like, whatever. I'm just fine with it. You know. But yeah, Halloween, out of all the horror movies, Halloween's one of my favorites besides Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, those two are my favorite as well.
So I think series-wise, it's Scream. I think they kept the most integrity through all their movies. They also don't have 10 like a lot of these series do.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, when you get that many movies, there's always some that you're not going to like or like not like as well. But I was like, Scream, I've liked all. Well, Scream 3 was a little but I've liked all 4. But so I think overall series-wise, Scream will always be one of my favorites. But I was like, Halloween really started my love for horror, so it's always going to be on top too.
Yeah,
for that.
I like Saw too. The Saw series is fun.
The Saw series is fun. The very first time I watched the first Saw, like the twists, and I was just like, they did that. Like, like, I still can't get over it. And so not happy, like just like in shock and amazed I was that I was like, oh, usually I'm not fully usually they're kind of predictable, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
I was fully shocked.
For that, I felt like they would pull out something that was crazy.
That's one series I couldn't get into, was the Saw series, because I don't like watching like people's limbs get sawn off and weird stuff like that. The same thing with like the Hostel. I couldn't get into those either.
Hostel's brutal too.
Yeah.
I feel like that one they should have left the first one.
The first one is the best one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just leave it there. That's it.
I don't even think I knew that there were sequels, so
they made 2 of them.
Really? Okay.
The second one,
Final Destination, is another one. Like the first 2, maybe.
Right.
How many are they up to? 8 now?
I don't even know.
I think they're up to 8.
How can they still think of like ways to die?
Like when I first watched the first one and the second one, the roller coaster one freaked me out. I think it's in the second one. I'm like,
oh yeah, they filmed that at Universal.
Yeah, I'm like, huh, that's interesting. That could actually happen in real life. And I'm like, that's why I like the Final Destination movies, because they kind of like think of stuff that could actually happen in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, huh, that could actually happen. So now I'm like terrified sometimes when I go on a roller coaster, because I'm afraid it's gonna go off the track like that, and I'm just gonna die.
Final Destination, you're gonna die one way or other, right?
Yep.
Right. But yeah, those movies are just interesting, the Final Destination movies.
For sure.
They're interesting, but they should have just did it the first 2 and then that's it. Like,
leave it alone.
You know.
Right.
So hopefully
knowing when to stop.
one more Michael movie, and we'll be done.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Either that or do like a backstory, like when Michael was like little, what lead up a little, like kind of like the Rob Zombie, how Rob Zombie kind of did his like backstory,
but even more so.
Or do like a backstory from the time he was a kid all the way leading up to the first Halloween movie.
Yeah, maybe his like great grandpa is also really evil. So like maybe like a prequel like that.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, depending on how crazy they would try to take that, I would be down for it. Because,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that like that's an actual gene, like scientifically, like to be a serial killer, it's an actual gene in the family, and they've proven that. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's an actual gene that people have, that kind of like trait that they're a serial killer. It's really interesting.
Weird. We don't need 2 Michaels.
Right.
Yeah. We only just need one. That's why I think where does Michael go after he kills these people? Where does he go? Live back in the Michael Myers house? Where does he go?
Right. Does he go chill in a jacuzzi? Like, where does Michael go?
Hey, Big John and Little John made that house look nice. Michael's got a good home now. He's fine.
Right. They took the time to like refurbish everything.
Right.
That's probably why he came home. He's like, finally.
Someone finally redid my house.
Yeah. Someone made this house a home.
Right. But no, I'm just wondering, like, cause like sometimes he doesn't come back for years, and I'm just wondering, where does he go for the years? Does he have like a family that we don't know about or something?
He's just in the 3rd dimension, I guess.
Maybe. The Twilight Zone. He's in the Twilight Zone. That's where he is.
He'll
He just
reappear
stays-
either next year or in 22. So
He just stays in the Twilight Zone, and we don't know where he is.
right. You know, that's crazy thing about though. If he was in 2018 was when that movie we just watched was based.
Mhm.
So like, if the new movie was based in 2020, like that'll be funny to see.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, is it just gonna pick up again? Like, we're just having one very long Halloween night. Like,
Will it be like a COVID Halloween? Like,
Right.
right.
I'm actually surprised nobody made like a horror movie based on COVID or anything like that. That would be
yeah, I
interesting.
think everyone's just like, nah.
Yeah, I mean they did. Oh my god, what was the one that was made? I don't know if it was based on COVID, but the one it was kind of like Unfriended, but it wasn't Unfriended. I can't think of it right now. My God,
Oh,
that's
I've never
annoying.
seen Unfriended, but people tell me I should check it out. I haven't seen that one.
I like Unfriended. The first one, the dark web one, was.
Have you
But-
seen those, Jon?
No.
I haven't either. So maybe we'll have to
The
watch them.
next
And then,
one, yeah, it's called Unfriended, right? I wrote down the other one
Unfriended.
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Unfriended and Unfriended dark
Jon,
web.
we'll have to do that, and then we'll tell Breanna what we think of it.
There you go.
That works. I have it on my list.
Right.
I had fun with this. This is awesome.
I had a great time with you guys.
Yeah,
It was a
this
lot of
was
fun.
good.
So where can everybody find you, Jon?
Yeah, you can check me out at hinsonphotography.com. It's HINSON photography.com. We photograph all over Florida, Orlando, a lot of vacationers, a lot of locals too. So
Breanna, where can everybody find you?
Yes, you can find me at my personal Instagram, which is Breanna_K7, or at Walt's Apartment Podcast that has live streams every Wednesday night, and usually some extra episodes that come out throughout the week, Marvel based and parks based, all Disney. Find that at Walt's Apartment.
And then you guys know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram, Popping the Popcorn, or Facebook/group Popping the Popcorn. You can find me now on my new YouTube channel, Popping the Popcorn. And you can also find me on, if you want to support the show, you can find me on Patreon/Popping the Popcorn. And I would like to thank Amy and Dana from the Run Eat Drink podcast, and Josh. Well, I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.
yeah.